You're 22 years old. You have a big fight coming up, Submission Underground in Jiu-Jitsu, but you're kind of an all-round athlete, MMA fighter. Could you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, I started when I was like 10, 11 years old, I'd say. I started training at a Taekwondo gym. And then I kind of, after a year there, I transitioned to like a full-time MMA gym. And then wrestled throughout high school, wrestled in college. And kind of while I was wrestling on the off season, I'd fight MMA. And then the last 3 years, I've been like a professional since like 2018, I think. So yeah, I mean, just kind of been all over the place, just doing it all for a long time.
Do you think it's kind of a golden age for jiu-jitsu right now? Because, you know, you got some really cool competitions coming up. People seemingly can actually make money. People like Gordon Ryan leading the way, making real money. Whereas 10 years ago, I guess it was difficult to make a living out of jiu-jitsu. I mean, different for you that you're fighting MMA as well, but does it feel like kind of a golden age?
Yeah, in that sense, yeah, for making money in jiu-jitsu, I think it's probably is at its peak right now, which is great. You know, a lot of people can make a living off jiu-jitsu now. Where it's like, yeah, 10 years ago, it was probably select. You could probably count on your hands how many people can make it. You know what I mean? And for Gordon to lead the way is pretty cool for everyone. It's kind of like Conor with MMA, just took it to another level. You know, and you got to respect that. You know, when you see it. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think it's definitely the golden age of jiu-jitsu.
So tell me about your fight this weekend coming up. Joe Bay's black belt should be a nice challenge for you.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good one. I think it's a good challenge. It's on Sunday. It's on Fight Pass. So it's gonna be cool. I like competing in that scenery, you know, type thing. It's a cool environment. Joe Beige is a good dude. He's a good black belt, good jiu-jitsu guy. He's tough, you know, leg lock guy. So it's gonna be a fun match. I'm excited. He's a vet of the sport, you know, so gotta respect that.
How much are you enjoying this promotion? Chael seems to have done great things with it. And in many ways, because of what's happening right now, maybe there's going to be more eyeballs than ever because people are just hankering for some live sport, you know?
Totally agree. I think there's going to be probably more eyes on this event than probably any event around any Submission Underground just because there's nothing else to watch. So, and I think on the last one, they were showing the highlights on ESPN. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be fun. That's why it's going to be exciting, you know, try to put on a show and have fun and make the best out of it, you know.
There's some good events going on at the moment, like I mentioned before. I mean, how do you feel about the likes of Quintet and Polaris, those team events? Do you like that format? Do you have a favorite format to compete?
Favorite format, I'd say I like sub only. I like submission only. But I'd say ADCC type format is probably the best, in my opinion. Just as the more realist type version, you know. The problem with a lot of jiu-jitsu things is they don't have one score system. Everything's so different in every event. And coming from wrestling, everything's the same. Whereas jiu-jitsu, you got to adapt to a lot of things, which can be just, it's more obnoxious than anything. It's like, if we had one system, that'd be super cool because then I think every organization would be kind of successful from it. But everyone wants to keep changing stuff up and keep trying to like one up each other, and it's like it's obviously not working, in my opinion. So if I were to pick, I'd say ADCC or a submission only type thing like Eddie Bravo's. I like that a lot, the combat jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's fun, man. You've competed in that before, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah, that's wild. Can you explain it a little bit for people who aren't familiar with combat jiu-jitsu?
It's jiu-jitsu with slaps. So it's kind of like I was saying earlier, you turn like a black belt to like a blue belt really quick just by slapping them. You know what I mean? But slaps kind of hurt. Slaps might be worse than punches at certain moments. But yeah, I would say it's a different type of jiu-jitsu. You got to be smarter a little bit, more strategic with how it's more realistic in the sense of like fighting, but it's not fighting. You know what I mean? It's probably the next closest thing to it. So it's cool. It's fun. I had a ball doing it. Honestly, it's kind of weird, but it's super fun. Yeah, it was a cool event, and Eddie put on a really good show. So yeah, it's fun.
It's interesting you talking about how the different rule sets have kind of, I don't know, stunting a little bit the growth maybe. Do you think that that's what needs to happen then? That we need to bring in the rule set's more in line. Every promotion seems to want to do its own thing. Is that what we need to do to make it kind of more globally blow up? Because there are these amazing pockets where things are really popular, particularly in the US, right?
Well, yeah, but it's like, yeah, if I show my friend something like, hey, this is a takedown, it's 2 points, and then I show him another event and it's like 3 points, it's like, you know what I'm saying? No one's going to want to do that because it just sounds like a lot of work. I mean, for me, it's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think there should be some organization, like people just come together, you know what I mean? Because you got IBJJF, ADCC, you have Metamoris, Polaris now, Quintet. It's like, we just got to get something in order. Because I think it'd be cool if you can separate submission only and points, but those are the only two different like type of styles. But the point system should all be the same, and the submission only should all be the same. Same time limit, same everything. You know what I mean? Because it's too confusing for people, like the average person, to watch someone get 4 points for taking the back, and then next thing you know, it's only 2 for a different thing. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for like my parents or my brothers or something to watch that because it doesn't make sense. You know? So I don't know. That's just my opinion, but yeah.
All right, mate, I want to talk to you now about MMA. Nick Diaz Army, fighting at Nick Diaz Academy. That's so cool. Obviously, he's a massive global name. So is his brother Nate. What's it like training over there under those guys? Because not many people on the street might associate them as coaches, right? They know them as fighters.
Yeah, exactly. They've been like I mean, Nate's definitely been a mentor the last few years to me, you know, and a lot of people have, you know, like Randy, Lucas, all those guys have been like really taking me under their wing. So I have nothing but respect and appreciation for them. I mean, it's like what you see is what you get, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's different. They're probably the nicest people to you ever meet. You know, they're just super nice, genuine people. But yeah, man, it's a ball. It's just totally different. It's hard, but it's fun. It could be the craziest days of your life where you sleep for like 1 hour, 2 hours, and because you're just training all day, or it could be, you know, completely different. Yeah, it's cool. You get a wide range of people. So
I'm one of those people who would love to see Nick sharp and competing again. Do you think he will come back ever?
That's gonna be. I want him to. I really do, but I don't know, man. I really don't. Hopefully he does, but time will tell. You know what I mean? It's time will tell, and when he's ready, he's ready. But until then, I don't know if I'd put my money on it quite yet.
What have those guys told you in terms of mentoring about the way to go? Of course, you know, they went into the UFC. Is that your ultimate goal in terms of MMA? You're 4-0, undefeated, looking good. Your whole career ahead of you in MMA. You want to fight in the UFC?
Yeah, UFC, and if I can't find the UFC pretty soon, I think I want to go overseas. I think overseas would be the way to go. Not many people think of it like that, but I think overseas, you know, Europe or Japan. Japan sounds like the best to me. Something like that, fighting over there would be a ball, man. I think that'd be a blast.
Ryzen
or One, either of them, because they're not really in competition with the UFC. They do their own thing. They have their own type of rule set. So I really like that. I really enjoy that. Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. I mean, you know, imagine like, oh, you're not in the UFC, but you're going overseas and building a fan base over there. I mean, how cool is that? You know, and Japan appreciates the sport in a different way from everyone else, which is really cool.
So you're a 205er, right? So in one, you'd actually be fighting in middleweight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, huh? Yeah, I guess so. I try to bounce back between middleweight and light heavyweight. I try to do both. It just kind of depends. But I'm like an average 205er, I'd say, but I'm a really big 185er. But I don't want to overcut the weight to 185 where I'm feeling sloppy and sluggish. So it's just kind of a weird, like, in between right now.
You seem pretty well-rounded given your background. You know, brown belt jiu-jitsu, you've got your wrestling, you're a boxer as well, which is kind of what you need, right, to be elite in MMA. But how would you describe yourself? Because, I mean, part of this interview really is about introducing people who might not know you to you. So if you kind of had to parallel yourself to any fighter that people would know, what kind of style would you say you have?
See, well, I like to say I try to combine like my favorite fighters I used to watch and try to put it all in one. You know what I'm saying? I like a little bit of like, Nate Nick's boxing, but I like Khabib's wrestling, and I like Israel's, kickboxing. You know what I'm saying? And just try to put that all together and try to just shake something up. I think that's how I wanted my style to be described, as someone that was unpredictable. You didn't know what was going to happen, what they were going to do. I think that's the biggest thing I want people to take away from me. So I wouldn't say I have a specific style. Obviously, I'm more grappling based just from my accolades, but I wouldn't say I'm just a grappler, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, looking forward to seeing you compete out in Asia. One thing I heard was that you also called out Logan Paul, which was interesting to me. How did that come about? What's the story there?
I called him out, but I didn't. I was talking to Ellie Seck back, and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cool if like this and this and this happened, Logan Paul? Because I saw he's homies with Logan and Jake, and I was like kind of joking about it. I'm like, let me fight him, just trying to be goofy and whatnot. And Ellie's like, all right, I'll go talk to him. And then he's been talking about it all the time, and I would fight Logan, but it'd be kind of dumb because I have 10 fights and he has 0. So if you look at like recent people who have tried going against guys with like, double-digit fights, it's kind of like doesn't go well. Like you look at Aaron Pico, you look at anybody like even Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying? His first few fights in the UFC were a little rough. So I'm thinking like, why would this guy want to fight a real fighter right away? Whereas if we box, it'd be a lot better and a lot different, in my opinion.
Sorry, the chopper going by. Okay, so you mentioned the plan to maybe check out Asia. Would that be soon? Might we see you out here pretty soon?
So, man, I think right now, if people could get out fights, like for Sug, it's a secret location, it's this and that. If you could get out fights and just get like a pay-per-view or something like that, who wouldn't buy it? Especially right now, who wouldn't buy it? There's nothing to do, nothing to watch. So I'm like, if people can start getting like events together, I would love to go out to Asia and fight out there. I'd do it next week if I could. So as soon as this whole quarantine thing is over, I think hopefully see me there ASAP.
Have you got people reaching out on your behalf to these organizations?
Yeah, I have my managers doing it. So hopefully, we can get something done. Looking at like Taiwan and stuff too. So, yeah, we're trying. It's just hard right now. It's kind of a tough time, so it's kind of difficult. But yeah, we're trying.
Well, great chatting to you, man. Good luck on Sunday, and mate, all the best. Hopefully, see you out in Asia pretty soon, fighting MMA.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it a lot.